Good morning and welcome to Friday. Yeah, we've made it. What a crazy, crazy week. I'm Joe Jaquin, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and our toll-free number. Phone has not stopped ringing, hasn't stopped ringing all year, but especially today, 800-951-0592, the website at allamericangold.com, and what an unbelievable last 36 hours. Wall Street billionaires doing everything they possibly can to screw over the little guy. And listen, it's just the beginning. Censorship, it's just the beginning, right? You know, we're banning hate speech and this speech. Today, Facebook blocked the community that's around the trading of stocks through, I'll call it the Robin Hood Reddit community. 153,000 people in that group. They were talking about hate speech. They weren't even talking about politics. It wasn't a left or right. It was simply, oh, wait a minute. You're hurting our rich friends. And we're going to break it all down for you today. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to educate you on what has been happening to the retail investor. And again, listen, this is just what I told you. If you needed any more proof, I've already told you rules and laws are already in place. They can stop you from buying and selling at any moment. And what happened yesterday just proved my point. And I'm going to break it all down for you. I'm going to go through it all. I'm going to explain it all the best I can. I have inside information, as one of my family members is part of this group that was locked out yesterday. And what is happening today, and by the way, they say silver's next. Lo and behold, this morning, Silver Eagles are off the menu. So as you know, we've been running a delay, right? We're saying 2, 3, 4 weeks. This morning, we got informed by the Bullion Bank. The Mint is taking no more orders. We cannot book any more silver. All of you that have already booked, don't worry, you're fine. That silver is coming. The Mint has not even given them a date as to when they can expect delivery. So normally when this happens is the Mint, they have a parameter. When they're so far behind, when they're so far back ordered, they shut it down. And apparently that has happened. They're so far back ordered, they're not allowing for any more orders so they can catch back up. I don't know how many million ounces of silver they are behind. My guess is it's millions. I'm hoping maybe in 2 to 3 weeks, Silver Eagles will be back available. But as you guys know, we've been in this business 25 years. We've got deep connections. We know people all over the world. I do have junk silver available. And not only do I have it available, I can have it here and in Colorado Tuesday and Wednesday of next week if you order today. So that's how quickly I can get it out there to you at 800-951-0592. So when we get back, we're going to talk about the whole scenario that has been playing out on Wall Street, who was involved, how much money has been lost, the hedge funds that are been pulling the strings, what banks are behind it. That's a story that will be interesting once we find out where all the bodies are buried. But something where, again, just know this can happen, will happen, and is going to happen, and they are planning on it happening. That's why they wrote the laws. After the financial crisis, this is what they did. You know, we heard about Dodd-Frank, right? Too big to fail. And, you know, Congress and all that stuff. This isn't Congress. There's no law passed by Congress for this. No, this is the banking industry with the help of the Federal Reserve and the SEC. And really, it's a very simple rule to understand. Hey, when the next crash hits, nobody's allowed to sell, period. That's what it says. For the good of the system. If they feel that the system is in danger, you won't be allowed to go to the sidelines. You're not going to be able, listen, I don't know how much more proof you need. And it wasn't just Robinhood that banned trades yesterday. It was most of the brokerage houses. You were done. You could not unload your positions, period. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. And we're talking about the events that have been happening. And this has been a very big growing trend, especially with our younger adults, if you will, right? My oldest son, as I said, part of this, he's 21. Ryan, who does all of our web work and stuff, he's involved in all of this, and a lot of them are. If you never heard Dave Portnoy, I think I'm saying that right, Barstool Sports, he has been one of the leaders in this, and in using social media to gather hundreds of thousands of people to almost act like their own hedge fund. And what they did over the last couple of weeks, let me lay it out for you. They were taking stocks that were massively shorted, okay? And these weren't good stocks. And I'll tell you the two that are the most prevalent. There's others. There's actually quite a few of them. But the two you're hearing about, GameStop. And for those of you that don't have gamers, right, GameStop is where you can go buy the video games. Okay, they're one of these dying retailers. They're a retail chain. They're in the strip malls. They're in the shopping mall, and like all the other retail, they've been closing stores and you know, trying to survive. They were a $17 stock in the first week of January. Okay, $17. The other one, AMC, the movie chain, who a week or so ago got $900 million more dollars, so they didn't have to file bankruptcy yet, but they're essentially bankrupt, obviously. They were a $2 stock the first week of January. And this group, very smart people leading it, saw an opportunity. Said, hey, we can blow these short positions out if we all buy together. And they were using Reddit. They were using Twitter, Facebook, right? So they all started buying the stock. And they started going up. At first, it was very slow. And of course, I'm sitting there telling you at first, listen, we're talking about a stock on January the 7th, and now it's the 29th. So it really wasn't slow. But that first week, so say from the 7th to the 14th, AMC went to like $3 from $2. That's 50%, right? That's pretty good, right? GameStop, it went to like $35 from 17. Again, about 50%. But they kept buying. GameStop yesterday, before Robinhood blocked all the trades, was almost $500 from $17 in a matter of 3 weeks. AMC, a similar story. Not as big, but pretty darn big. And when we're sitting here looking at this, here's what happened. The hedge funds that had all these short positions got blown out. They're saying losses of over $70 billion. What happens to stocks when these things happen is the stock market will require, because a lot of these guys were buying them on options. In other words, they were putting a little money in to control a lot of stock. And again, they're all banding together. They were requiring Robinhood to put more money down. In other words, hey, I know it only, let's just say as an example, it cost them $5 to control 100 shares. Then Wall Street says, hey, you know what? Now it's going to cost you $10 or it's going to cost you $20, right? And so Robinhood needs the money. Now, granted, this has been happening over weeks. Yesterday, Robinhood blocked all of these people from being able to buy or sell their stock. GameStop lost half of its value yesterday, wiped out a bunch of people. Now, the ones that got in early, they're still up. But the ones that got in, maybe they got in on Monday, right? They took losses. And they came out to try to defend themselves. Oh, well, we're trying to protect our liquidity, they said. Maybe that's part of it. The Citadel, which is one of the oldest and largest hedge funds on Wall Street. They're the ones that gave Robinhood the money. And a lot of people believe that Citadel forced Robinhood to do this. Now, Citadel has denied it. Robinhood didn't say that. But here's what's happening. Right? This was going to be a daisy chain of events. And they acted because they were losing. It's one thing. It's fine when they wipe us out. They never care. That's fine, right? Tesla can be overvalued all they want. But the second we do something that they don't like, this is what happens. But a lot of people are speculating that a multiple of hedge funds were potentially going to go under. And that at the end of this daisy chain sat several large banks. Now, Robinhood will tell you, oh, no, it was this and that, and we needed money. Now, miraculously this morning, they got $1 billion. Oh, here you go. You could have got $1 billion. What? You couldn't have got $1 billion yesterday, the day before, a week ago. I mean, everyone knew this was happening, and obviously, this was nothing more than a bunch of bull crap. And then, of course, like Facebook now bans the group. Why? Because they were making some money. Yesterday, there was a lot of people getting ready to be millionaires yesterday. Now, Robinhood's opened up limited trading as of this morning. But I was talking to my son, and I'm going to just read what he sent me. Dad, a lot of guys, and he's talking about this group, have been saying silver. Now, silver, as all of you that have ever listened to me know, the most manipulated, maybe the most manipulated product in all of Wall Street. I don't know that there's one that's more manipulated. It may be the most manipulated. A lot of guys have been saying silver. My guess is that they are going to try to pump silver after the GameStop and AMC are done. And I think this is kind of what's happened today. I mean, we're looking at silver's up $1.25. This started after hours yesterday, by the way. So I think Kitco's got it up like $1, but it's up $1.25, $75.25 on silver. Of course, gold's gone with it as well. Gold's up 20, 18.56. And by the way, silver was 27.75 this morning at one point. And I was looking at AMC and I was looking at GameStop. And this is kind of how it started with them. That whole first 4 or 5 days, it was up. But just a little bit. And then, boom, that next week it started spiking. I don't know. We'll see what's happening. But that's the talk today. And it just so happened, is it coincidence? Yesterday afternoon, let me give you a great example. Yesterday afternoon, at what time would you say it was, Arlene? After 4 o'clock yesterday, Arlene was booking Silver Eagles with the Bullion Bank. We had orders. We were booking them. This morning, no. But this is why we've got junk silver. And here's you know what? The junk silver, it's less per ounce. So why not? Now, I don't know if this is going to happen. But this group has shown how powerful they are to overrun Wall Street hedge funds is pretty amazing. My guess is that a lot of them are already getting out of their silver shorts just in case. You know what I'm saying? So right now, let me tell you what we've got. $0.50, rolls of $0.50. They're $2.35. Rolls of quarters are at $2.30. Rolls of dimes are at $1.15. If you want full bags, I've got them. Okay, $23.5 for a full bag of halves, $23,000 for a full bag of quarters or dimes. And again, how long that lasts, I don't know. Right now, I've got a good supply. Like I said, and we've talked about the junk study. I know a guy. So this is what is going on in the marketplace today, you can decide what the truth is. The Robin Hood story was disgusting. Okay? And I'm sitting there and I'm watching the SEC has released a statement this morning. My question, and by the way, that's the Securities and Exchange Commission. They're supposed to look out for us. Okay? That's what that's what they say their job is. It's not. And they said that it's going to work to protect investors by reviewing the recent trading volatility that had fueled the meteor rocket-like rises in GameStop and AMC. Wow. What, you're going to review it? What? That a bunch of common people got together, started buying up a stock, only to have the Wall Street bankers bitch slap them down? We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592. We're talking about the silver markets. We have junk bags of halves, quarters, and dimes available. $23,500 on the halves, $23,000 a bag on the dimes and the quarters. If you want to buy them by the roll, which is just as good, right? $235 for a roll of halves, $230 for quarters, $115 for a roll of dimes at 800-951-0592. So this group has been targeting heavily shorted stocks. Nothing is more shorted than silver, right? The big banks short silver constantly. And they're saying, right, there's the group, if you will, has been talking about silver in the last about 48 hours or so. At least that I know. Maybe it was a little earlier. But a lot of people are speculating that's where they're going to go next. The SEC, in their statement today. Now, of course, where was the SEC yesterday? Where were they? Where were they? In their statement, the top financial regulator vowed to protect individual traders, to scrutinize actions taken by brokerages that may have disadvantaged investors or otherwise unduly inhibited their ability to trade certain securities. Well, obviously that happened. They couldn't do it. Now, of course, GameStop will probably, or the Robinhood will say, well, we just wouldn't let them buy it. They could have sold it. Right? Of course, again, they only would let them sell it after the market opened. Of course, and what did it do? It opened down 50%. We will act to protect retail investors when the facts demonstrate abusive or manipulated trading activity that is prohibited by the federal securities laws. Now, of course, I already told you the law. Hey, if the system's in danger. Now, I don't know, can they prove that? Because already the Citadel said, oh, no, we didn't do anything. And Robinhood, oh, well, it was the margins, right? The Wall Street, there was a lot of leverage buying, and people were buying on the options, and they told us that we had to come up with more money. And we didn't have it, right? Or at least they say they didn't. Of course, miraculous today, oh, we got another $1 billion. The commission is working closely with our regulatory partners, both across the government and at FINRA, and other self-regulatory organizations, including the stock exchanges, to ensure that regulated entities uphold their obligations to protect investors and to identify and pursue potential wrongdoing. And, of course, when you sit there and look at it, I say this goes nowhere. But here's my problem with this. Here's my problem. This was happening for weeks. Where were they on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday? Where were they yesterday when Robinhood blocked everybody from buying and essentially forced the stock price down? Of course, yesterday, I think there was a big call option day yesterday, and I'm sure. Sorry, I was just getting text. I wanted to make sure if it wasn't my son trying to update me, and I'm sure saved Wall Street hundreds of billions of dollars. I'm sure of it. But of course, when you sit there, let me give you an example. For the week, GameStop was up 420%. A company called KOSS, KOSS, was up 1,800%. AMC was up 280%. And now, of course, Elizabeth, you know what? I think the one thing maybe the only thing that our elected officials can agree on Washington was this was a disgrace by Wall Street. An absolute disgrace. And then think about the move by Facebook today. And I told you this censorship thing, this is just the beginning. And the left better wake up. You know, they thought it was all well and good. Oh, that was great. When it was, we don't like Donald Trump and let's block him and censor all the right guys because we don't like the right. How about today? Let me tell you right now, this group it's probably got more liberals than it does conservatives in it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just one of these situations when we're looking at what comes next. This is something I don't think Wall Street ever envisioned. Right? They're the ones that are supposed to be doing this. The retail investor, you're supposed to take the losses. Because one retail investor, you don't have the chops to compete with us. What are you going to throw 10 grand at it, 100 grand at it? What, are you going to throw $1 million at it, 10 million? What, are you going to throw $1 billion? Hey, we got more than that. But now you're talking about a group of hundreds of thousands of people, maybe 1 million. I don't know. I don't know the total number. And some of them are throwing $100 at it, $500 at it, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 100,000 together. I mean, you've got sports players. Right, the professional sports leagues throwing money at it, right? This is a massive group of people, and it's a cross-section. I mean, you've got 21-year-old kids to 85-year-old men and everything in between acting like their own hedge fund. If it's true and they go after the silver shorts, I don't know if I would assume that they could be successful. If they're successful, right? What are we talking about? $50, $100, $200? So it could be. I don't know. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break. Okay, I'm gonna read to you. This is from Reddit. Well, first, I'll just read you. They're talking about breakout action in silver. They're saying new money pouring in. The fundamentals behind silver have been solid for some time. The precious metal is even identified as the asset to outperform others in 2021. I don't know about that. You know, silver had a great year in 2020, so did gold. Well, and again, gold and silver go together. Listen, one of them ain't going without the other. But they said, so has silver's time finally come? Analysts this morning are pointing to new money coming into the silver space. They've cited increased interest from an army of day traders likely coming in from platforms like Reddit. One doesn't have to look too far to find new investors' interest in silver. Of course, remember, I've been talking about, remember last week I told you record-breaking amounts of money flowing into silver? For example, Reddit's Wall Street Bets. So they have a feed that says Wall Street Bets on. This is where we saw GameStop and AMC, same feed. Wall Street Bets has a new, they call it subreddit title. The biggest short squeeze in the world, $SLV silver, $25 to thousands. That's what it reads on Reddit's Wall Street Bets. And then they write the following. Silver bullion market, one of the most manipulated on earth. Any short squeeze in silver paper shorts would be epic, and the word epic is capitalized. We know bullion banks are manipulating gold and silver to cover real inflation. Both the industrial case and the monetary case, debt printing has never been more favorable for the number one inflation hedge, silver. Now, I think it's the number two inflation. By the way, we're splitting hairs. Inflation adjusted. Silver should be thousands, not $25. Now, remember what I told you about gold last week. To cover the debt, right now, gold should be $70,000. I mean, that's what it would be, which would put silver at over $1,000 an ounce. Put silver, in my opinion, fairly valued silver at about $1,100. And I say, and I always tell you, 65 to 1 is the ratio. Why not squeeze $SLV to real physical price? Think about the gains. If you don't care about the gains, think about the banks like J.P. Morgan you would be destroying along the way. Listen, this is it. This is the group that, right, they want to take down Wall Street. They want to take them down. There's an uptick in Reddit's WSB, right, Wall Street Bets. When it comes to SLV, it is a short covering rally type play to try to front run it and push it higher. The futures will have to rise to balance as well as pushing prices higher, blah, blah, blah. We see the same thing happening in the silver market. In the past, there has been talk of big shorting happening in silver. So there it is. This is what has been circulating since yesterday. This is what's got all the bullion banks now, all of a sudden, no more silver eagles. And this is what has Wall Street working right now. Silver's up. Like I said, $1. I've got it up $1.30 from New York's close yesterday. Up $1.30 already today. 27.25 and rising. At least right now, it's been as high as 27.75 already this morning. Gold, and again, they're going to go together. They're absolutely going to go together, and we'll see what happens on all of that. But that's what's playing out in the marketplace today, and we'll continue to watch. And they're not wrong, right? It's hard to argue the logic behind it. And I guess, with the advantage of the social media now, there is no way for these hundreds of thousands, potentially millions of people to ever connect before. Now there is. And apparently they've got a lot of power has been coming into this. So it could be one of those things. Either way, silver and gold already, they were already going to have big years. Any little push, and who knows, right? It could be a really big year. We got junk silver available, $23,500 for a bag of halves, $23,000 for quarters or dimes, or buy them by the roll. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour, final segment on a Friday. 800-951-0592. Now, I will say this. Be careful. What comes up must come down. If it was me, I'd be buying today, absolutely. And then if silver breaks through its all-time high. Silver's all-time high is just above $50 to the ounce. I'd probably start selling, right? If we got to 100, I'd be selling, right? But I don't know how long, if they're successful, if it happens. It appears that over the last week, there's been record inflows into silver. There's no doubt about that. And at least what Kitco is saying is this is new money. This is new money, and a lot of new money. What they're saying is, hey, this isn't the usual guys, that dip in and out of the silver run. This is new money, people that, hey, we haven't seen these accounts buying silver before, and this is what's happening. We'll watch it all play out together, I guess. But as we sit here and we think about this, the longer term ramifications of this. We already saw what Wall Street did yesterday, and Wall Street's got a problem now. We've got a problem now. People are watching and saying, what? Wait a minute. The retail investor was going to make a killing, and so you crushed them by saying, hey, you're not allowed to buy? By the way, they did this to the silver market. Most people don't know this. They did this to the silver market. Remember, the Hunt brothers were cornering the market. Remember that? Don't forget. This has been a trick Wall Street has played many times. But, of course, if silver went from $27 to $270 before they did something, how upset would you be, right? 800-951-0592. Now you're up to date. This is what's been happening. Wall Street's down about 500 points. So it was down 600 points the day before. It was up 400 points yesterday, down 500 points today. Speculation swirling in the silver markets. And again, remember, I tell you the story all the time. Gold and silver are brothers. They don't go anywhere without the other, right? So whatever silver's going to do, Gold's going to be with it. So I think either way. But right now, the action is in silver. U.S. Silver Eagles, just a reminder, if you're just tuning in, are unavailable. You can't even take orders for them. The Mint has stopped allowing the bullion banks to take orders. So right now, if you're looking for anything into the silver market, junk silver is it. And here's the good news. I mean, if I could get silver right now, I don't even know what it would be. Silver Eagles. I mean, I don't know. 680 a roll, maybe 700 a roll. Remember when there was up $10 over spot? That may be back again. So junk silver is a lot less expensive than that. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back on Monday. We'll see if the saga continues. Everybody try to have a great weekend. God bless. Take care.